Hello everyone and welcome back to another review. Today I'm here with a review of the Kong Studios 3.0 Super Saiyan 3 Goku, aka KO24 is what they had to name it because of copyright issues and stuff. But yeah, a third party Super Saiyan 3 Goku figure. If you have Instagram, TikTok, you will have seen this guy everywhere. You know, pre-orders sold out. They did another short release for him. Those sold out. There's a few color variations and stuff. So there's one for Vegito. There's a KO23, and you know, there's one sort of Super Saiyan 3 hairstyle but blue. So yeah, there's loads of different styles. All look great, but I wanted the classic Super Saiyan 3 look because I'm lacking Super Saiyan 3 in my display. I currently have no Super Saiyan 3 figures because all of them, even official releases from Bandai, are kind of not great. They look okay. No, they don't look great, actually. The articulation's okay, but they don't look great, and that's my main problem. I wanted one that looked amazing, and this is the one that sort of caught my eye, especially with the renders. I had a day one pre-order for this. A lot of people had doubt in it and didn't end up pre-ordering it. Good news is they are reissuing it. I think this is like one of the only times Kong has like instantly announced a reissue because it's been so popular. So keep an eye out for that. You'll be wanting to go to 5K Toys to buy that. This is where I've got mine from. Thank you so much to them for the fast shipping. But yeah, without further ado, let's take a quick look at the box, which, you know, third-party boxes tend to be quite boring, but this one's okay. It's not too bad. You got a nice bit of artwork here. You don't tend to see much artwork like this on, you know, posable action figure boxes. More statues and stuff. You've got, you know, your Kong Studios there and the Kong logo. KO24 1/12 collectible figure. On the side, you've got a nice picture of the figure looking absolutely fantastic there, pointing out that it is the 3.0 body, which I think was an exciting aspect. You know, a bit of legal stuff on the back. And then another picture of the figure here. Very nice sort of space theme. But yeah, the box is pretty boring, I can't lie. It's not, they can't do, I don't think they're allowed to do window packaging, and yeah, so they resort to just doing like plain artwork. But yeah, the 3.0 body is the other thing that we have to get into with this figure, because it's a lot of there was a lot of hype around that, finally getting a 3.0 body on a third-party figure, which I think people wanted to use for head swaps and stuff. So we'll get to that later on in the review. But without further ado, let's take a look at the figure. So here is Goku out of the packaging, and here are his accessories. So the first check that I always do here is the quality control check to see if there's any issues with the figure that'll pop up across multiple copies of it. So I can't lie to you, I've been messing around with this figure a few days prior to this review just because he came at a weird time where I got back from holiday, so I wasn't ready to review because everything was just a mess. So yeah, I have been messing around with him a few days before this, so I haven't really found any like major issues. But the one problem I've had with mine, which I don't think is, you know, across all copies, because I've seen reviews where they've been perfectly fine, is the feet are really, really tight. To the point where, you know, if you were going to move it, they might snap off. So I applied some heat and stuff just to loosen them up a little bit. But I'm not going to loosen them too much by adding any shock oil or anything, because loosening up feet is a very, well, I wouldn't recommend it, just because this figure can barely stand anywhere. No, he can't stand without a stand, at least I've found. If anyone has found a way to make him stand without a stand, like in just like a straight position, please let me know, because I've been struggling. I've asked a couple of other people who've been having the same problems. So yeah, loosening up the feet is not something that I'd recommend like a lot. Just a little bit of heat just to make them movable is completely fine. But yeah, besides from that, no other quality issues. I have seen one video where this arm just keeps falling off on someone's copy, but I've moved the arm quite a bit. Nothing wrong with mine. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the accessories, which you can see in front of you. So to start off with the hands, we get a nice range of hands, which I think all standard Goku releases, whether it be third party or you know, official releases, should come with these hands just as standard. But SH Figuarts and, you know, some third parties don't always include them. So I'm happy with the range of hands we've got here. We've got two sort of claw hands. We've got two open grip, you know, which you're gonna want to use these two to sort of shoot out your posing with Kamehameha, or you know, some blast effects or something like that. So yeah, those are decent pairs of hands. Then you've got your like battle stance hands, which are sort of standard for Goku as well. And then you've got instant transmission hands, which are really good as well, because not all releases come with these, and that's just absurd in my opinion. I think every Goku release should come with instant transmission hands, because it's one of his most sort of popular sort of moves, I guess you can say. Then we've got the screaming face, looking good. The straight face, looking very nice as well. And the sort of, you know, like the comedic face that you get with most releases these days. The sort of scared face. And then you've got, with the normal figure I've got on right now, the smirking face, which we'll get into in a bit. And then something I haven't included on the map, but is here on the side, his halo from when he's sort of brought back from the dead, or brought back as like an angel. So yeah, the halo as well, which is a must. So I think all the accessories for this guy are pretty good, and I'm really happy with the accessories. The one thing I'd say is that I wish they included was a stand, because, you know, not everyone's going to have a stand, and if someone gets this and they can't stand him up, which is going to be most of the time the case, it gets a bit tricky. So yeah, but I'll go into that further on into the review. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the figure and take a closer look. So bringing in Goku off his stand for a closer look, as you can see, I just want to bring your attention to the head. It's absolutely fantastic. I think it's one of the best sculpt and paint work we've seen from any of the figure companies in terms of, you know, like a head sculpt this year. And I think it's the ultimate Super Saiyan 3 perfect sculpt for the collection, and it's one of the main reasons I held off the official release of Super Saiyan 3. I had many chances to buy the official release for a decent price as well, and I held off because it just didn't look great to me. But this is perfect, and you know, you've got the shading from a darker to a lighter yellow. You've got the sculpt work of the face popping out, the eyebrows where they're missing and stuff, and the lines in the face, and just the overall look of the face just is exactly what I remember seeing in the anime. And yeah, I think it's one of the most perfect looking figures, like in terms of accuracy this year. And yeah, I think it was one of my most anticipated figures of the year, considering this being a third party. Yeah, it was one that I was really looking forward to. And as you can see, look, just the volume of the hair. Obviously, they've sacrificed a little bit for it because he can't stand. But I think to get that ultimate look, I think that's what they had to do. But yeah, what I'm going to do, just to show you the body, because it's just going to make my life a little bit easier, is pop off the head. As you can see, it pops off like that, which is going to make it very hard for head swaps. But I know there is some creators on Instagram that are already creating some pegs for head swaps, because the 3.0 body was a big selling point on this. You know, people wanted 3.0 body just for the fact of maybe using the Ultimate Gohan head and putting that on here to have just your standard Z Gohan instead of the superhero one. So yeah, there was some different selling points to this figure, but the way that the head pops off here is one of those ones where it makes it kind of tricky. I'm not fully aware myself of how the other heads will pop on if you wanted to head swap with other figures, so I'd recommend going to Instagram, maybe checking out some other creators' posts on that. But yeah, as you can see with the body, they've just got the perfect Goku body here. You know, it's just your standard gi of the blue and the orange with the normal skin tone for Goku, and the bog standard boots. No logo. I don't mind, because I think most of my Goku bodies have the logos on them, so I don't mind having one without. So yeah, but overall I think this figure looks absolutely amazing. So now I think it's time to get into the articulation, which I think is going to be the tricky part of this review for me. So getting into the articulation, let's start with the head. The head can look up about that far, down about that far. So you got side to side. You probably get 360 rotation, to be fair, if you move the hairpiece out of the way. So yeah, you've got side to side, you've got a nice tilt. So yeah, a really good range of motion in the head. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the head off here just to show you the hair articulation. So you've got two pegs here which have hinges, which you can hinge the hair up and down. As you can hear, mine's very brittle, but I think it has to be like that so it can actually hold up the weight. So I don't think there's any worrying about like breakage or anything. And you can also turn on this peg as well. So yeah, you can turn the hair to the side and stuff. And then there's also the same peg at the bottom, which is a lot smoother and a lot less brittle. So this one's going to turn a lot easier, at least for me. So yeah, that's the head articulation. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the head to the side here, and I'm going to articulate the body just without the head, just to show you full range of motion. So coming down to the torso can crunch forward about that far, which I expected a little bit better, but it's not bad. That far back, which is pretty good. You got a side to side, you got, you know, all around motion in the upper chest. Then we've got, coming to the arms, we've got a a rubber piece here for the sleeve. So it gives you a lot more range of motion, and it's a lot easier to get out of the way, which is really good. So you've got a butterfly joint coming in and going back out, which gives you a really, really nice sort of range. And then you've got the arm coming out about that far, going obviously down that far. Then coming to the arm itself, you've got a bicep swivel. You got your standard 3.0 elbow joints, which gets very good range. Then you've got your wrist peg. These are quite loose, like these come off quite easily, but they're not too bad that they're just falling off. So yeah, your wrist hinges and the ball peg spins as sort of normal. Then there's a bit of waist articulation, so there's a bit of waist swivel, and I think you might be able to get a small crunch, but this will get in the way. This waist belt will get in the way. So then getting to the legs, leg kick out about that far, kick back, not too much, out a really good amount. You've got a thigh swivel, which is really good. Then we've got the double jointed knees. Very good range of motion there as well. Then coming down to the feet, like I said before on my copy, I think my feet are basically frozen, so I'm not going to try and move them. But I have seen other reviews, they are supposed to move, so they're going to move up and down like a normal amount. But then you've also got toe articulation. For some reason the feet on mine are really, really, really stiff. I don't know why they're not moving. And then you've got ankle pivot as well. The ankle rocker pivot on mine works, which is fine. I'm gonna have to find a way to try and loosen these up, but like I said before, you don't want to loosen up the feet on a figure too much, just because then he won't be able to hold poses at all while he's standing. So I might just leave them frozen as they are. But yeah, with that all done, let's get to some comparisons. Just before we get into some comparisons, I just wanted to show you that the alternate faceplates on mine, the the peg holes weren't wide enough. So what I recommend doing is applying some heat with a hairdryer and then just pushing them on if you can't get them on, because it was the peg that's like on the hairpiece is way too big for this, so then it won't go in. So if you just heat it up, that'll become rubbery and then it will just pop in. So yeah, if you're struggling with that, that's what I recommend. And that's probably why I won't be able to show you some face swaps in this review, because I've only done one. I don't remember which face it was. I'm not sure if it was the straight face or something, but I did one where I've heated it up, but the rest of them I haven't done yet, so I'll have to get to that after the review. But I also wanted to show you how the halo fits in. So the halo peg is just there, and then you just have to pop it in. But it's, like I said, it's really, really fragile, so you don't want to break it. Let me do this off screen. You just have to put it in with a bit of secure, like in a secure way, to the point where it's not going to snap. But I think it's just supposed to go like this, and then it does stay there without, yeah, you need to use some force to pull this out. So there you go. If you just push it down, like hold it like this from here and then just push it down, give some support to this, keep this secure, so you could just push it all the way in without it snapping, and then yeah, that should fit in fine. I'll probably leave this in for the rest of the review because Actually, I might have them displayed like this as well, so yeah, I'll probably leave this in. But yeah, that looks really good as well. The way that they've done the halo is more obvious than the way they do it with SH Figuarts ones, because the SH Figuarts ones usually come out of the back here. But the way that they've managed to fit this into the hairpiece, I think they've done really well. But yeah, with that said, let's get to some comparisons. So for our first comparison, we have Goku here next to the brand new Super Saiyan Vegeta figure, which came out this year. Obviously with the new sort of, as you can tell by the lighting, the sheen, glossy gold hair, rather than the, you know, the matte sort of shaded hair. So this is just to show you how he'll stand next to a Vegeta figure. I think the scaling's basically bang on. I don't really see a problem here between the two. Obviously, where it gets tricky with these figures is that the Super Saiyan hairs look different, so then that could look slightly out of place. But overall, it looks sort of perfectly fine. And I guess you could say that maybe if that's Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 3 has a different sheen to over the hair, so you can have it like that. So it just depends on how you prefer your collection to be. But yeah, that's how he stands next to your average Vegeta figure. So here's Goku next to the Superhero Gohan with a custom DL custom Gohan Beast head on there. So these are both 3.0 bodies. As you can see, Goku stands a little bit taller, but the body itself is mostly the same. But yeah, these two look great next to each other. Now here's a comparison I was excited to do. This is the Goku next to the Beerus figure. I think this is the event exclusive Beerus, the weird colouring one, as you can see by some of the shading and the sort of darker purples on him. Yeah, these two look really good next to each other, and you know, they do fight each other in the Beerus movie, you know, when Goku goes Super Saiyan 3 before he is able to go Super Saiyan God. So this may be a fight that you want to do on your display, or, you know, maybe you want to take some pictures of. So yeah, I thought it would be a good comparison. As you can see, they stand at a very, very similar height just because of the Goku hairpiece being so big, and then Beerus's ears just like giving him that extra height. So yeah, they stand at a very similar height and look fantastic next to each other. So here's another comparison that I just had to do. It's the Super Saiyan 3 Goku next to the Superhero Goku. And I think that this figure puts this one to shame, because the painting on this one, in terms of the gi color as well, is so much better. Like, having these two in comparison, like, this is really dark. I don't know why. This is a very, very poorly made Goku figure just in general. I think it's one of the worst ones they've actually made. I think at some point, if I get the chance, I'll probably get rid of this and get the Saiyan Raised on Earth one. I do like the head sculpt on this though, a bit better than the Saiyan Raised on Earth one. I like the faces. I really like the superhero faces. I think they bring a very new light to the Dragon Ball line. So that's why I picked this up. But the painting on this is very poor. I feel like this is prime Goku colors, and that's exactly what you need. But yeah, they look okay next to each other, and obviously you can get a sort of good idea for how the 3.0 Goku body is looking compared to the sort of standard 2.0. But yeah, they look okay next to each other. And for our final comparison, and certainly my most important comparison, is the Super Saiyan 3 Goku next to the SH Figuarts Majin Buu figure. Now, you know, this is the one I had to do because I think I'm going to have these two on display next to each other. So, yeah, it's one that I had to do. And obviously, Buu towers over mostly all the SH Figuarts figures in my collection. I don't think there is any others, just looking back, quite as big as him. And I think, actually, Super Saiyan 3 Goku is going to be the one that compares the closest. So, yeah, these two look fantastic next to each other. I can't wait to have these in a post and stuff. So I will be doing a post and maybe a TikTok and stuff. So don't forget to check out my socials down in the description. But yeah, these two look amazing next to each other. And as soon as I stop recording this segment, I'm going to go on Instagram, post a picture of this comparison, because I just really like this comparison. But yeah, this is the final comparison. So yeah, with that done, let's get to my final thoughts. So guys, some of my final thoughts on this figure. I do think that this is an absolutely fantastic figure and miles better than anything SH Figuarts has given us in terms of Super Saiyan 3. My only issues with it is the fact that it can't stand, but I will have to look past that problem because Super Saiyan 3 is a design that can't really be integrated into an action figure form. just because it's so top heavy, it will fall down. So I'm gonna have to look past that, and you will definitely need a stand if you're gonna be buying this figure. I do think they should have included the stand, because there's no way that they weren't aware that this figure can't stand. I have seen some promo pics where it has been standing on its own, which makes me wonder how they've done that, because I genuinely can't get it to stand in any way whatsoever. But the feet on mine are also kind of frozen. Like, as you can see, this one is a little bit tilted now, but it doesn't get the range that it should be getting for the joint it's got. So there's something wrong with mine. They must be super tight. If anyone else has got this figure and they've had the same problem, let me know how you fix the feet. Preferably, I wouldn't like to oil them, because I don't want to loosen them up too much. I've applied some heat, which got them to sort of loosen a little bit, but not enough to the point where I'm getting full range out of it. So if anyone's got any tips on that, please leave them in the comments below. But yeah, my main two problems are the feet, the fact that it didn't have the stand, and the standing part in general. But the rest of it, I can't really complain. The 3.0 body brand new is amazing. The head is insane. Like, the likeness to Super Saiyan 3 original is just out of this world. And accessories are fantastic. Like, I'm really impressed with the accessories on this one. It's got all the hands it should have. It hasn't got enough faces that I would want it to have. Like, it's got the good amount of faces, but maybe I could have thought of a few more. But I'm not too fussed about that anyway. It's got the halo, as you can see, on. And yeah, overall, I really like this figure. I think it will be in a contender for my figure of the year. Probably not number 1, but it will be in the top 5, most likely. So expect this to be in the top 5. But figure of the year this year is complicated, because there's too many good things still to come out. We've got some SH Figuarts One Piece that still need to come out. We've got loads of SH Figuarts Dragon Ball and Naruto, which still need to come out. Obito, the new Awakening Goku. So it's all a bit mad at the moment with SH Figuarts and just the action figure scene in general. But yeah, I do really like this figure. I think I'm going to leave it with an overall score of... I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, because I really, really like it. Like, it was one of my most anticipated figures of the year, and yeah, I really like it. So I would recommend you picking this up. As I said earlier on in the video, this is getting a re-release, so what you want to do is watch 5K Toys. You want to keep watching that space. Their Instagram especially, that's where they post most of their updates. I'm going to link their Instagram and link the website down below, so if the pre-orders go up, you can go on there and pre-order it. Like I said, there won't be a pre-order link, because I don't think the reissue pre-orders are up yet. So yeah, you want to be watching 5K Toys' Instagram. And again, thank you to 5K Toys for the fast shipping as well. But besides from that, I will be posting this guy more on my Instagram and my TikTok, so don't forget to check out my socials down in the description. And if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to share with all your family and friends. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.